I thought Professor Thompson was one of the nicest teachers I'd ever had. She always smiled and asked how my day was going. At first, I just appreciated the small talk before class started. It made the 8 a.m. lectures a bit more bearable. But then I started to notice she only really talked to certain students. The ones who sat in the front row, mostly. Like Emily and David, the class president and debate team captain. They were the type of students who always had their hands raised. I remember one day, Professor Thompson asked Emily about her summer internship. Emily launched into this long story about working on a project with a real-world applications, and Professor Thompson listened intently. I felt a pang of jealousy, I guess, because I was just working at a coffee shop that summer, but I pushed the thought aside, thinking I was just being sensitive. It wasn't until a few weeks later, when Juan raised his hand to ask a question, that I saw a different side of Professor Thompson. Juan stumbled over his words, and Professor Thompson cut him off, saying let's move on with a dismissive wave of her hand. The class moved on, but I didn't. I was stuck on the look on Juan's face, embarrassed and belittled. As the semester went on, I started to notice this happening more often. Professor Thompson would patiently listen to Emily and David, but cut off students like Juan and Maria, who didn't quite fit the mold. One day, Maria asked a question about the reading, and Professor Thompson said that's not even relevant to the topic at hand. Maria looked like she was about to cry, and I felt a surge of anger. I realized then that Professor Thompson's niceness was just a mask, a way to make herself look good while still being biased against certain students. It was like she had two faces, one for the students she deemed worthy, and another for the ones she didn't. I started to wonder how many other students had noticed this, how many had been hurt by her subtle put-downs. I didn't know what to do, or if I should even say anything. But as I looked around the class, I saw Juan and Maria exchanging a knowing glance, and I felt a sense of solidarity with them. As we packed up our things to leave, Professor Thompson smiled and said, "Great discussion today, class," like nothing was wrong. But I just nodded and left, the sound of her voice echoing in my head like a lie.